Hello, viewers. Welcome once again. We're live. We are live. We're live. And today, I just want to do a recap of, you know, what we've been talking about. Like, I want to find out if you guys are, like, actually a part of the conversation. So, hey, Abdul, welcome. Hello, guys. It is so good to see you guys online, and like I'm so ecstatic. So today it's a conversation. Like I miss you guys, and I decided to come online. Have this live study feed so that we can talk about the videos that I've been bringing up lately. I would also like to know what you think about the videos that I've been bringing up. And have you seen it? What are your thoughts about it? Is it helping to address that? Is it like contributing to your life? Most importantly, are we having fun with it? Are we having fun with it? So if you're online, I'd love for you to say something, to say hi. So I'd love for you to say something because I hope this is going to be a conversation. And for today alone, I'd like the show to be about you guys. So all the videos that we've done, the ones you've been able to see, um, what were your thoughts? I believe that most of us like are busy with our work, and so sometimes you take a look and then you dash out and decide to comment later or something. I just want to know. So in fact, I know there are two viewers watching right now and the show just started, so I'd love for you to say hi. Hey, I'd like for you to say something, hello, or just leave a comment and then inspire. Let's move. Okay, so I did an upload this morning, and I was talking about the fact that I was in a car when I saw someone throw a piece of garbage outside the window of the car, and I was like, what it just hit me. Okay, it just hit me like people are sometimes just indisciplined. How can you just up and throw garbage out of your car, you know? And then like you keeping your car clean, you keeping your house clean, but you can't keep the environment clean. You can't actually like, you know, keep the environment clean. I mean, basically. And it was really very disappointing because we've been trying so hard, I mean in Ghana, to to kind of like deal with sanitation problems. And with all the efforts um, that the government is doing and everyone is doing, you just up and throw garbage outside your window. I wasn't happy about that, but you know, and the reason why, I wanted to call the police, but the reason why I couldn't do it is because I wasn't close enough to get the person's car number. Because if I was close enough, I would have reported them. I would have. I would have. It's just, you know, it's just it's just not right. And I think we should all be like community watchdogs or community police for stuff like that. Right now, Ghana and Africa is dealing with lack of clean drinking water and sanitation systems that is a severe public health concern. You know, and the efforts that we are all putting in is to make sure that at least we can contribute to about 70% of keeping the country clean. Our efforts, our small efforts. I remember that before we used to have, like in my mom's days, we used to have like the town council, and the town council was very effective, very, very, very effective. If they come to your house and they see garbage, if they walk in front of your home and they see litter, you're getting fined and you're going to pay money or get arrested and taken to court. Now it's like, they are not doing it anymore. And so this morning kind of like gave me chills and gave me a wake up call, you know, that we as Africans must rise up and deal with our indiscipline. Because waking up is not just about talking about it, it's also about our attitudinal change. We must like look within ourselves and assess ourselves and deal with the attitudes that we've cultivated over a long period that we've cultivated over a long period of time. Um, with this sanitation issues, as I was saying to you about like businesses you can take advantage of, in that video I talked about sanitation and how it's a golden area for investments in Ghana. Okay, so the question one is tempted to ask is uh, 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 what is the weather and how is it related to sanitation issues? Of course, when there's a rainy season, like there's a lot of rain and the rain collects garbage from all over and gathers them at a specific point. And if we don't deal with that, it comes with so many diseases, cholera and all of that. The government has done so much, so much. And I'm telling you, um, the president of Ghana, in I think one of our past presidents in November 2014, if I remember quite well, declared the first Saturday of each month as a National Sanitation Day, following an unforgettable cholera outbreak. The reason why I'm bringing all these points together is that there is a direct relationship. You know, there's a direct relationship. With what is what the current status quo is, and keeping our entire environment clean. So I think that we must all have this understanding and the realization that um, if you don't keep the environment clean, then diseases will definitely affect us. You know, so thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. If you've watched any video and you had any questions about the WhatsApp group that I'm talking about, if you have any questions, you can ask me. That's why I'm here. I'm here today to answer your questions. That's why I said we are live. Let's have a conversation. So it's not about just me talking, talking, talking. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know if you have questions with any video. Come on, guys. Don't tell me you've not been watching the videos. I want to believe that you have. So I want to hear something. You know. So we'll talk about a couple of things. I want you to ask me questions about anything. If you are in the diaspora and you're interested to come to Ghana, this is the right forum for us to have that discussion. So I want to ask, how are you guys doing? Hmm? How are your businesses doing? How are your businesses doing? Hey, welcome, third viewer. I'd like to say, hey, like if you could just leave me a comment, I could, uh, give you shouts. Yeah, guys, comment. Treating a specific topic because I've done so many videos over the past. Okay, okay, hey, tour to root, tour to rot or something. I hope I mentioned your name well. Tour to rot, root, rot. Okay. Thank you so much for staying tuned. And so, yeah, have a wonderful day at work. Okay. I wish you the very best. So, yeah, I'm just asking, how like are you? How do you keep motivated? Um, in what ways do you keep yourself motivated? I'm just waiting for your questions. But in the meantime, let's talk about, we staying motivated for the things that we are interested in, our jobs, our businesses, our relationships, our connections. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're an African entrepreneur, or you're a black person in diaspora, or you are from a different, background, what I want to say is, if you are building a business, you need to build a business around your passion, because not all of us have the opportunity to build. It requires time, it requires effort, it requires risk, and it requires, proper planning and execution. So if you are already involved in something that you hate, absolutely, something that you dislike, something that you hate, oh my God, then it's going to be work. It's going to be work. You want it to be about money and stuff, but some aspect of your job should give you some kind of gratification. Some aspect of your job should give you some kind of gratification. And so please think about that. you know are you in a job that gives you some kind of fulfillment? You should have some kind of gratification at a point. So yeah, that is our motivation point one. Then you need to always have your long term and your short term goals for your business. So those of us who want to come to Africa to start a business, you need to think about your long term goals and your short term goals, because especially if you live in your how do you call it, your comfort zone. If you're leaving your comfort zone to travel all the way to a place where, I put in quote, you may find yourself to be a stranger or a visitor or a guest, you must have your short term and your long term goals. You know, in the very short term, how can you plan your business so that it is kind of serving a need and it is bringing the desired outcome that you're always seeking for your business? Um, that is one. And then number two, you have to think about your long term. So in your long term, it's not going to be like, oh well, what am I going to do now? Like, you should have a long term. For example, if you want to be a farmer, a cocoa farmer, okay, we'll talk about cocoa in the some other time, but I just want to bring it together, like just bringing it to this conversation. For example, if you want to grow cocoa on a farm, you should know the maturity time, or the time of fruition. And if it's about 2 to 3 years or 4 years, you're gonna have to have a long-term plan and a short-term plan. So if your goal is into farming, that you need to find something else to plant that in 6 months or in a year is going to, go into fruition and give you something, to sustain yourself, give you something to sustain yourself, you know? So I always encourage my brothers and sisters in the diaspora who wants to come and do business, like always have a plan A and a plan B. Your plan A, I believe, should be like your short term, and your plan B should be like your long term, so that you don't have to pack your bags and leave after a short while. Okay, so you know, I'm still waiting for your questions, so I'm just diving into this. I've done a couple of videos. I've talked about let's see. I've talked about um, doing business in Africa. Um, I've talked about so many topics. We have about 45 videos as of now. 45 videos. So there's really a lot to talk about. Um, okay, so let me see. Um, so just recently too, I've started making thumbnails. Guys, what do you think about my thumbnails? Like, say something. Okay, so just recently I've done free land, you know, offered in Ghana. What is your thoughts about it? Have you seen that video? I hope you guys have seen it. So free land in Ghana. What are your thoughts about it? Okay, so I don't know if you've not seen the video. I'd like to give you a little gist. So Ghana just last year in 2019, Ghana launched the um the year of return, telling our brothers and sisters, in the diaspora, because of the slave trade 400 years ago, um, Western Europe came to the shores of Africa and, enslaved our best men and women, took them to the North Americas and then enslaved them and used them to build their nations while pillaging the continent of Africa. So that is history. And we don't talk about it much because it's obviously not a comfortable subject for so many um, people. So, well, it's been 400 years since 2019, since the time they started to 2019 was actually 400 years when the first ship arrived at the shores. Now, uh, you know, Ghana has been trying to unite the rest of the continent for a very long time. And if you know about our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was Ghana's first president, and he was part of the freedom fighters for independence to liberate the people of Ghana. Oh, thank you for the likes. Hey guys, like I'm trying to, you know, if please subscribe if you're new. I'd love to, have you on board and to, for us to be part of the whole conversation. But hey, would you want to be a a chat room moderator? I think I would love that. If anyone wants to be a moderator, just give me a shout and I'll add you. So Ghana decided that, well, after 400 years, and thank you again for the like. Thank you so much. So Ghana decided that after 400 years, well, our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, had been fighting for the unification of the African continent, and also for our brothers and sisters who are scattered in the diaspora as a result of slavery or migration for greener pastures, to like always remember to come back home to Africa, because you're black, you melanated, you're from Africa. So that is the concept. We are just like, kind of like scattered across the globe, and that is no fault of ours. So Ghana says come home, and those efforts to come home saw Dr. Nkrumah unite with, freedom fighters such as Marcus Garvey, who, hey, Marcus Garvey was the one who actually put the star, the black star, in the flag of Ghana. Did you know that? When I found out, I was like, really? Marcus Garvey? He did. And hey guys, let's continue, but I'd like to show you my gift. I got a gift from the office. I got this gift from the office. It's a red sweet. I think it's a sweet red wine or something. Yay. It's exciting. I got that from my boss. So exciting. And I got this too. This Horlicks as well for my boss today. So this tells me I'm not in hot waters at work. Okay, so the efforts, like, they put in so much effort, and Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King actually was so what he was very one of the people who greatly inspired our first president to kind of fight the West, for our independence. And I think if you read about some of Marcus, um, um, Dr. King's works, he makes reference to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and then when you read some of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's works, he makes reference to Dr. King. So you could clearly see some kind of a relationship between the two. Malcolm X. Malcolm X was also connected to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who fought for the liberation of the entire African continent and tried to unite Africa as the United States of Africa. If you go onto my channel, you see that I have other videos that are talking about, you know, that are talking about the speeches that he gave, that earmarked, that began the onslaught of the conscious movement in Africa, the waking up movement, movements in Africa. So the liberation of the entire continent, and also like the gathering of the sons and daughters of Africa, well, it's been happening for a very long time. And part of the journey has been that we must wake up and break down the stereotypes, the stereotyping of people of African descent. The world is losing so much by preaching this inferiority complex to Africans. Because you know what happens? Once they're preaching the inferiority complex and we're like eating it and thinking that we are not worthy, we are not, at the same level, the world is actually losing valuable human resources. Because if I don't believe in myself that I'm good enough, if I don't believe in myself that I can do anything positive for the world, I just give up and I sit and I do nothing and I brood over it, and I act out in ways, and that even in a close family. Hello, Amir. Welcome, Amir Adil. Welcome to the Woke Africa show. All of you guys, welcome. This is the Woke Africa show. We talk about, how Africa can rise out of the ashes of slavery, of exploitation, and get onto the global, um, onto the global stage and be part of the conversation. One, be taken seriously. Two, have the power to negotiate policies that will benefit their citizens. So the Woke Africa show is also about a conversation, because we need to talk about things that are important to us. And I believe even if you are not African and you're on the show, there's so much that you can also take. There's so much positive vibes that you can also take from these conversations. So if you're here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I've heard from Tor to Root, and then also Amir Adair. Welcome, guys. Um, so as I was saying, you know, um, so the consciousness, the awakening of the African people, part of that is deconscientizing our minds about the stereotype, the stereotypical issues that we have to deal with. The rest of the world are comfortable thinking that, oh well, forget them, this is an African, it's not worth it. But if imagine how far the world will actually go if we acknowledge the wisdom in everybody's head, if we come together and we decide that, hey, my brother, you're worth it, as much as I am. This is what I know. Can I also learn from you? Can you also learn from me? Can we try and bring about global peace? Can we try and move the world? Stop hunger and use our intelligence and what we have to actually build a better world. How powerful would that be? How powerful would that be? But you know what? For Africa to achieve this, to come to the level where we are going to be seen as an equal, I think there's a lot of work that we must do. There's a lot of work that we must do as well. First of all, we have to replace the narration, the negative stereotypical narration about who we are, because who we are is powerful and it is strong. And when we put our minds to it, we can achieve whatever. That's the kind of people we are. And if you have a problem, if you have a problem about the fact that Africans are woke and they feel like they can stand up for themselves, then your motives should be questioned. Your motives should be questioned. I mean, that's what I always say, that my progress, okay, take a home setting, like a home setting, for example. You may be home with a brother or a sister. If your brother gets an A from school, does it stop you from getting your own A? No, it doesn't. If somebody wins the lottery, does that lottery, because he won that lottery, does it stop you from, you know, getting your salary from work? It doesn't. So it just proves that, if your brother or your sister prospers, it doesn't stop your own personal prosperity. If Africa becomes stronger, if Africa rises, it doesn't stop the power of the world leaders. It doesn't diminish any country. It doesn't diminish anybody. So we Africans must realize that part of the awakening is here in the mind. So if you look at my channel, I've kind of like, um, you know, hey, welcome everyone. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and, leave a comment for me. I'd like to throw shouts. I'd like to know what you think about this video. Okay, we're live. We're just having a conversation, and I'd like to know what you think. So, Leave me your comment, and I would just get back to you. So the conversation is ongoing. Have you guys seen, you know, any of my videos? Do you have any questions? Of late, I've been posting quite a number of videos. So I was talking about Ghana giving, free land to the diaspora, and I didn't quite finish because I brought all this other um, topics in it. But so yeah, so fast forward to 2019. I think somewhere in 2016, the then president of Ghana also launched the Joseph Project. And you know the story of Joseph. So the Joseph Project was supposed to like um, seek out our brothers and sisters in the diaspora and bring them back home. The same as Joseph was sold by his brothers and sisters, got to the foreign land, that is, got to Egypt, became a servant and worked his way up to become a king. And in the end, the brothers, and father got so hungry that they needed to go to Egypt because Egypt was the most powerful. Look, Egypt was the most powerful kingdom at the time. So, sitting there and thinking that Africa is, if you read our history, if you go back and read the history, you see how powerful Africa really was. And Egypt was, the cradle. It was the cradle of civilization. So yeah, so they went back to Egypt where Joseph had now become a prime minister, and they asked Joseph, "We want some food." They didn't recognize him because he had risen to so much power and has grown so much they couldn't even recognize them. And so Joseph ends up becoming the one to bring prosperity back home, to his family, food, shelter, and everything. And so I think it's kind of like some aspect of the Joseph story brought the Joseph project to Ghana. And I don't know why, but for some reason it wasn't that popular. Okay, it didn't like catch as much attention as the year of return 2020, sorry, 2019 has gotten, and also continued continued from 2019 to the year of return and beyond. Okay, and I think this time it was kind of like really taking on. I don't know, I would say because of the channels within which it happened, because the president of Ghana was in the Caribbean, he was in Haiti, he was in Jamaica. Yeah, he went to Jamaica, and I think some part of the Caribbean, you know, as well. He went to the US, he went to the UK, I think so. Sorry, my bedtime is 10 p.m. So when it's 10 p.m., regardless of what I'm doing, my yawning begins. So I believe you've seen that in most of my live videos. Like as soon as it's 10 p.m., it gets on. Okay, so for this time round, I think the tourism ministry did a fantastic job, by involving more people, launching the campaign in several states and engaging the Black communities around the world. Um, you know, so um, yeah, it's kind of like we've gotten to the point where the year of return has become big, and there are traditional councils. Before the influx of all of this, you know, democracy and Western way of life, our system of ruling or governance was bureaucratic. Was is a sorry, it was monarchy. Monarchy, yeah, it was monarchy where a king wielded all the power and made decisions for his subjects. So that was the system of governance at the time. So before they came and brought all of this, um, you know, the the coming back home of our brothers and sisters. I keep saying that it's more spiritual than it is physical. But anyway, I'll get back to what I was saying. So the traditional councils, who are still, holding some kind of power, decided to work with the government to kind of like ensure that there's a dividend. There's a dividend. There's something for our brothers and sisters to gain when they come back. And um, so they decided to give them land. So the land is about 5,000. Well, in total, it's about 5,200 acres. But the 5,000 acres was given by, I'm writing the name, I'm putting the link there, but a Woman Traditional Council. So I'm putting the link there. So I'm putting the link in the comment section so you can take a look at it. Yeah. So the Woman Traditional Council decided to give free land to all the returnees. To all the returnees who want to come and settle and start something, start farming, start a business, Um, so start farming, start a business. Okay, sorry, I had a call. So if they wanted to come and start farming a business or do something, just build a home and resettle in Ghana. Well, there's land available, and a lot of people were saying that the year of return is a scam, and this and that, and this and that, and well, since how can you say the year of return is a scam when the government is offering you land to come and settle? Some were saying it's just all about the money. And by the time you realize that, they are just overreacting, there is now land. So there is now land available, you know, for people to come and settle. Sorry so much. I was just attending to some calls. Okay, so now there's land available to come and settle. And so now, what is the narrative again? Hmm? What's the narrative? Okay, so I was just hoping that. So where is Terrence? Where is Terrence? Where is the thief? Where are my guys? Like, I've always had like committed subscribers who like always meet me up for live shows, and I'm not seeing them today. So I'm kind of like wondering, hey, where are you guys? But I just want to be able to interact. And hey, I see that everyone who spoke to me tonight is a new subscriber, and I'm like a ton grateful. I'm like a ton grateful. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming in. Our subscriber base is actually growing, and I'm so grateful to you guys. But I need for us to have more participation, more interaction. So for us to have more participation. So I would encourage you guys to kind of like come online when we have such live shows. Um, so I'm gonna have to end here because like my phone is just buzzing. Like there's so much calls coming in. I have to just stop and then come back, stop and come back. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say goodbye for now, and then I think in about 30 minutes or an hour, I'm gonna come back for us to continue the conversation. So I don't know who. Okay, let me see if I can check who's online now. Okay, so I don't think I have the luxury of knowing who is exactly online. Um, Hello, Nani Maroon. Nani, tell us where are you from? Where are you watching from? I'd like to give shouts to your country and to you. So hey, Nani, welcome to the Woke Africa show, and we are having a conversation today. You know, there's so many videos that I've done in the past couple of days, and I'm just trying to see if my subscribers are actually watching the videos and if they have any comments that they would like to share. So please like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned. If you are a subscriber, hey, he's watching from Jamaica. Whoa, welcome, Nani. Because I hope you know, did you hear that the president of Ghana was actually in Jamaica to promote the year of return? Nani, did you hear this? Oh, thank you so much, Nani. Thank you and welcome. So do you know about oh yeah, yes, he was there. So I want you to know that Ghana is offering free land, okay? Free land to returnees, like anyone who wants to come to Ghana and live here and start a life here. Like if you look in the oh yeah, okay. You're in Virginia. Okay, that's fantastic. But hey, so let me ask you, have you thought about coming to Ghana or coming to any part of Africa to just for like a visit or anything to come and experience the melanin? You know, I wish I still had my Jamaican passport. Oh, hey, even if you don't still have your Jamaican passport, these days there's just dual citizenship everywhere. Woo! So Nani Maroon is saying that he's coming to. So where are you coming to? Come to Ghana, come to Ghana. I told you that I was like, there is okay. I made this video about emailing me like any if you want to come to Ghana and you do not have any contact. I'm talking about if you do not have any contact, even if you had a contact and you wanted to hey Queen, oh Queen Nani. Oh, Nani, like I'm so glad you're here because I love that you're chatting and I love it because this is the channel of conversations, conversation. Oh, Nani. Okay, to tour to route is saying that he needs to charge his phone, so he's leaving us. Okay, thank you so much, Tour. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And then let's keep the conversation going. I love you all, guys. Like my subscribers, my viewers, you guys are amazing. Thank you. So Nani, okay, so please, if you like, you can send me an email with your details, okay? And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add you to our WhatsApp group. So if you tell me where you're coming to do, or just any information about it, I would add you to our WhatsApp group and make sure that when you get here, like, we can plan programs and outings, like, because if you don't know anyone here, you're just gonna come here and just, um, just be on your own, and you're not gonna feel the vibe, but when you are in a group. Woo! Okay, so your daughter will be coming as well. This is amazing. So you can just email me. Like, if you check the video, if you check my channel, I did a video saying that only for my subscribers. There's a video like that. So when you click on it, you'd see my. Anyway, let me leave my email address in the comment section so that you can just email me your details. I don't want you to put your email here in public because there are bots and other things online. So you don't want to put your mobile numbers there. So I'm gonna write my email address, uh, and then you can send me an email and I'll add you to the WhatsApp line. The Woke Africa Show at gmail.com. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so that's my email. You can send me um you can send me your details there and I'll add you to the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much for the likes, you guys. You're amazing. Thank you. You're amazing. Hey, it doesn't matter, you may even not be an African, but you want to come to Africa and experience our culture and understand why we are who we are. I think the world is a learning curve for everyone, you know. But I most important, most I mostly want to encourage my brothers and sisters in the diaspora because this is their home. um I'm sure if we have people from Middle East or India or wherever, watching me right now, when they think of home, like home, real home, they're thinking about maybe, a country in the area where they come from, like maybe India, from China, from, even if they're from that area or they're naturalized in the US or something, they're thinking, when they think about their ethnicity and who they are, they think about, you know their home, in that sense. So, African Americans, Black people in the diaspora, um when you think about yourself and you think about the fact that you are melanated, where do you call home? You see, we can be naturalized in some other countries and we can be born in some other countries and we may have the tongue of the queen or the tongue of the POTUS or whatever. But deep down, deep down within you, you know that Gaia keeps talking to you. You know that the creative force of nature keeps telling you is that your roots are deeply seated in Africa. Gone were the days when the narrative about Africa was that we live in a jungle and we live on trees and there were animals running helter skelter, lions running helter skelter. Gone are the days. These days the narrative is different. So if you look on YouTube, if you look online, there's so many videos that talks about Africa. Hi, welcome to the Woke Africa show, Kwesi. Okay, so I have to read Nani's comments right now. I think is a blast, like it's dope. Kwesi, welcome once again to the Woke Africa show. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and please hit the notification bells because I've been making these amazing videos that talks about the things that are important to us. But if you don't hit the notification bell, there's no way you're going to hear me or you're going to hear the videos. So, hey, Eric, Nani said hi. So, thank you, Nani. I think you are the moderator of the day. Thank you, Nani. So I want to read Chrissy's comments. He says that Burna Boy's mom said it best. Just remember before anything or before you was anything, you was the African. Perfect. Perfect. And Nani also said, people get confused and say, well, you live in America, so that's where you're from. I have to correct them fast. I am African. Thank you, Money. Nani, you are African. You are African. You know, the reason why they say that is because they don't know. They've not come to the continent. They've not traveled here. They don't even know. They don't understand. When you say that, they don't have like a clarity of mind about where they're from. Because it's just been a year that the year of return has actually made some noise about what Africa really is, and a few YouTube channels that are trying to change the narrative. But when you actually come down here, it's like it's not heaven here, but like I'm telling you, this stereotypical thinking will just crack open. The stereotypical thinking it would just crack open. I don't know if there's anyone here who has like traveled to Africa for the first time ever and had all these expectations and the expectations have been like just dismantled because they came. Hey, look at me. I was born and bred in Ghana. I got educated at the University of Ghana and I left to, gain international experience. I worked in a couple of countries and came back to Ghana to live here. So my experience, my makeup, who I am, my intelligence, my innovation, my being is all African. Is all So as I'm sitting here, like, what is the difference so much between myself and an African who has been born in the United States or in the United Kingdoms or in Jamaica what is the difference so much? Well, I'm thinking that the difference may be accent, and that is understandable. But when you take the accent out, I think the things that are important to me as an African living on the continent wouldn't be so far different from the things that are important to, let's say, an African who was born and raised in the United States or in the UK. We may have different accent, but there is a common trait. Let me go to the let me go to comment section because this is a conversation. So I like to read the comments from the viewers. So Chrissy says, even though Marcus Garvey was born in Jamaica, he said that he would not trade an island for a continent. He said that he was African. Oh, yes, Marcus Garvey was one of the inspirations. They inspired the freedom, movement across the continent. So with the I see old pictures of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, our first president, who has fought. Kwame Nkrumah just he did everything. He fought for the unification of the entire African continent. And guess who didn't like it? Nkrumah fought. Nkrumah gave everything for the unification of the African continent. So if I heard those people talking about the fact that, oh, this year of return is all about money and they want to cash in on our money and stuff, go and read the history. Okay? Some other countries may be trying to copy Ghana and follow suit and thinking it's about money, but you see, when you focus on the money aspect of anything, it doesn't work. And people don't understand that the thirst for Ghana to invite our brothers to come home to fight for the liberation of the African people is steep in history. And it's a history written with blood and sweat. So, like, I would encourage you, our viewers. I did a video with the speech of Dr. Nkrumah that actually sparked a lot of, he even had a militia. Did you know that Dr. Nkrumah started a militia that was going to supply the rest of the African countries who were fighting for independence from the British, from the Dutch, from the Portuguese, from the Spaniards. From that militia was supposed to, after it's supposed to help them, their armies, to fight for independence, because he said that the independence, Ghana was the first country to gain independence anyways. And he said the independence of Ghana, the independence is meaningless unless it is connected, it is linked with the liberation of the entire African continent. So, this is Nkrumah. This is the very first son of Ghana. So this is Nkrumah. This is the man who inspired the year of return. People think it's something that was just sort of at the beginning of 2020, a scheme planned to, rip our brothers and sisters off in the diaspora. And I hear people with powerful platforms. My subscribers are just like 300 plus, but I see people with 60,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers pushing this negative narrative, and I'm like, when so for so long the Western media has portrayed us to be people who do not have love for each other, because we kill each other, because we attack each other. So they've taken away like the symbol of love, the ideology of love away from us. And now that we are telling them, no, we want our own, to come and be part of us, people with powerful platforms on YouTube are promoting this negative, like vibe about the year of return. And it's like, can't we just like have this moment? People can't we have this moment where we don't, for one single time, that where we don't encourage, or we don't continue this negative narrative of you don't love yourselves, you don't love each other, you don't support each other, you fight each other. Must we always endorse it? Must we always endorse it for them? Can't we show each other the compassion and the love that we can give? Because you know what, all my subscribers on this channel know about the word Ubuntu. And Ubuntu is a South African word that means, or comes to mean, that I am because we are. I am because we are. Okay, so let me read a few of the comments. I love you guys. Mwah. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Please, if you haven't subscribed, this is your girl AJ. Please subscribe and like the video and share my videos so I go through it because our brothers and sisters need to hear the conversation. Okay, I appreciate you guys so much. Akwesi, you know I'm Akosia as well. I'm a Sunday born, so Akwesi, I'm Akosia. So thank you so much for staying tuned. Nani, thank you. Thank you so much for staying tuned. And let me read a little bit from Akwesi and Nani. So Akwesi says that I was born in Ghana and my parents brought me to America at the age of 6 years old. And my parents made sure that they spoke the language so that I would not forget it. And I say kudos to your parents. Chrissy, I say kudos to your parents. They've done so well because that's what I do with my daughter. I'm telling you, if you come to the continent like the colonization, man, it was deep. It was so deep. And I'm telling you that my daughter is like 4 years old and she started off by not even understanding the local language because she went to school at a very early stage. I took my daughter to school when she was like 7 months old. And so right from the get-go, the language that she would hear for like the whole 8 hours a day till I pick her up from school is English. So my daughter couldn't even speak the local language when she was like 6 years. When she was like 2 years, 3 years thereabout, she could only speak English, and I'm like, I had to like put in a conscious effort, like because it got to a point I was also changing to her standard because um I I couldn't communicate with her in Twi, so what I had to do was like I was always speaking English to her because that's what she understood. And I realized, no, 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 let her learn English in school. But when she comes home, I'm gonna do the tree thing with her. I want to do the local dialect with her, and so that is what has come to stay. So okay, see, I said this to buttress the point of your parents, trying to make sure that they spoke, the local dialect with you, so that you don't forget. Because when you forget your language, you're lost. Just as they changed our language, they gave us English, and now we don't even understand our own language, and we also don't understand the English that much. So how are we supposed to even advance scientifically if we do not have words to describe nature and the discovery of it? See, that's where we are now, Africa. They took our language and gave us some language that we don't understand, that we are still struggling. Like students are failing English in school by the hordes because there's this confusion. Okay, there's this confusion where children go to school and then they speak English and they come back home and they speak Tree, and none of them is like to the best. None of them is to the height that requires them to be able to achieve massively. So the confusion of always dealing with two languages that you are not perfect in, dealing with two languages that this kind of new culture in Africa is disturbing. The new language culture in Africa is disturbing. Whew. That's the second yawn. The new language culture in Africa is actually disturbing because the children don't understand the English well, and they can't also speak the local dialect because they go to school and they speak this superficial English. and they don't understand the local dialect, because when they come home, they speak in English with their parents, or their parents want to say, hey, my child can speak good English, so they're not speaking Chi at home or whatever. So we have a lot of students who go to school, and then they do this humanities courses. I did humanities, and I'm like, man, if I was going to start school today, my choices would be different. So we have to guide our young ones. The change will come, but it will not come. I mean, at 30 years, if I'm discovering this after 30 years, then the change won't come from me. Well, I can try and do my, do my part and do what I have to do, but the change will have to come from my children. I have to start preparing them, empowering them. I have to start empowering them to become, to become the new thing, the woke new, creation of the continent. Let me bring your attention to something. There's an air that's blowing, and someone whispered in my ear saying that the ancients are returning. I don't know if you guys get my drift, but the ancients, the originals, the ancient ones who actually held the torch and led us to civilization. Remember, Egypt is the beacon of civilization on the entire globe. The ancients are returning. They've been reincarnated. They've been born into our midst. So there will be people who will come and they will push the agenda. Such ancients are Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Martin Luther King. These are the ancients, and they are returning. So the century that we're about to step in is going to see a lot of people who are going to take and connect yourself to the continent, to the creative force, the creative force of nature. You need to listen. As I'm sitting here talking to you, if I'm part of the ancients, I wouldn't know. But what it's driving me to do is to bring together the diaspora and bridge the gap, the disconnect between our African American brothers and then our African brothers and sisters. So that is how you identify the ancients, who understand the time, regardless of the time, who understand the time. So the ancients are returning. And I think that we must heed to the times, we must heed. Okay, so I believe that went well. So I'm going to read some comments. So you guys, thank you so much. You're very active, and it's making me. I was going to leave because there was nobody, and nobody was commenting. I was talking, and I felt like the vibe, the connection was not there. But thank you so much. You're talking, and it's kind of like inspired me to stay on and to do more. So but you say Nanny Queen is saying that deep in the mountains in Jamaica there is a small group who still speak an old African. Really? Nanny, I would love a footage. I would actually love a footage. If I have to pay for it, I will. Like, I would love to be able to talk about them, to use them to encourage our brothers and sisters, to kind of like sankofa in our language. There's something called sankofa. It's a symbol called sankofa, and that means it's okay to return, to pick up the good things from your past. Hello, viewers. If you're new here, my name is Ejewa. This is the Woke Africa Show. You can call me AJ for short. That's fine. And remember, Ubuntu means I am because we are, and that is the African network. That is the African spirit. Ubuntu is what unites us and keep us together and help us love each other. So subscribe if you're new, and please kindly leave me your comments. I want to hear from you. I want to give you shouts, and I want you to know that I appreciate that you are on this channel. Let me know from you. This is the Woke Africa show. Even if you're from a different background or ethnicity, let me know you're here. Give us a shout, and we'll be happy to have you, part of our conversation. Okay, so I'm going to read some comments. Um, Nani, I'd love to know more about them. Can you please email me? I'd love to know more about these people and talk, because that's what I want to hear. The old African languages, it kind of reminds us where we are. Um, um, oh, Amir. So, Amir, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Because I want to know. I'm seeing shouts from Nani to you and stuff, and I want to know. I want to know you. Come on. Okay. I know Chrissy. I know about Nani. I want to know about you as well, Amir. So, hey guys, if you're new, please subscribe and look out for great videos, okay? Because when I make my videos, I put my passion in it and I put myself in it, so you can see that I am, in there, and I'm talking about things that I think I'm passionate about and I feel like you're also passionate about. So, Nani said, I'm glad Ghana is leading the way, Eric. Oh, wow. So there's an Eric in the show. Is there an Eric here? Hi, Eric. Okay, that's yeah, Quasi. Okay, Quasi, you're Eric. Okay, that's nice. And then Manny says African schools are getting westernized, and it's concerning. Yes, it is. It's concerning. Um. Okay, Tor, you're back. It's really nice to see you back. Hey, Tor. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and like this video for me. So Money says I will send you the footage. Thank you, Money. And I promise I'm going to do them solid. I'm going to watch the videos and I'm going to talk about them and get interest, for people to watch the video. So thank you so much. Like, I love you. Thank you. And Akwesi says, one of the things that upset me about Ghana is that they don't teach children about slavery. So the children grow up not knowing about their brothers and sisters in the diaspora or what happened. Look, Kwesi, thank you. Thank you so much. This is the problem, actually. The disconnect is because of this. Because we rely so much on this Western kind of system of education that is even so outdated and outmoded and requires reform and requires reform, and it's still there. That my African American or diaspora Africans watching right now, when you come to Ghana, please, and you see the disconnect, do not get disappointed. People don't, and those who know, it's just taught under one heading, just one heading in school, under one heading, and after that, you go on and learn about all this stupid Western history that you don't even know, like I'm not calling the history stupid, but I'm just saying that, like, what significance is the things we learn about the West, like so many things, like books and 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 books about the West, and you just get a paragraph or two, a page or two about African history. I'm telling you, that is what is wrong. We don't know who we are. Even the people living on the continent, they don't know who they are. They don't even speak their own language. Like, I'm talking to you in English. I wish I could be talking to my brothers and sisters in Chi or in Akan or in Swahili or in another African country, but that is not the situation. That is not the situation. So, how are we going to change that? How are we going to be able to change that? Our leadership, that's why it's important for us to be having this conversation. Because you know what, I think after this conversation, some of you are going to take this seriously. Some of you are going to require from your teachers, parent teacher associations, to take a look at some of these things. Let me take a comment or two. Nani said they teach nothing but lies in American schools about slavery. Of course, of course, of course. Why? Look, they were the perpetrators of this evil that they feel so uncomfortable to even talk about, to the extent that they even deny racism. They deny racism. What makes you think? Of course, they are not comfortable talking about it. They're not comfortable teaching about the history. They're not comfortable teaching about the history. And they've made sure the African educational system doesn't either. But you know what? I mean, don't worry your head about it. All this crap is going to phase out at a point, because I'm telling you, the ancients are back. I'm telling you this. Guys, believe me, the ancients are back. The ancients who brought civilization to this entire globe, they are back. The hieroglyphics that, majority of it is still even not been able to decipher yet. The information, the scrolls that they're keeping away from us, in their Vatican and in all their institutions that we are not allowed to be part of, like who we really are, that is being hidden, from us. Like, the ancients are back, and they are back with the knowledge. They are back with the desire for us to wake up and know who we are. So, like, you are African American, you are Jamaican, you are from the Caribbean, you are even Caucasian, you're whatever. Nobody can stop this. The ancients are back, and you will see sons and daughters of Africa rise and take their position back on the continent. It's fixing to happen, people. It's fixing to happen. And I always say that I'm not going to like sit here and like, I don't get, okay. So, hey, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't get like all these other people who sit on YouTube and say they're talking about the awakening of Africa, and then they preach hatred against white people. I don't preach hatred against white people, because you know what? What is about to happen, the awakening that is about to happen, white people cannot say jack. This time they can't stop it. This time they can't. Because think about it. What other tribe, or what other ethnicity, what other um species or race of people have gone through the kind of ordeal that African people, or let me say black people, because if you say Africa, you add all these mulattoes from the north, they're not black. If you talk about black Africans, like what ethnic group has gone through such terrible terrible treatment and efforts of extermination than the Black African, continent and people? Hey, that's my baby girl, Kylie. Kylie, what's up? You want to baby? Go ahead, baby. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. Good night. Good girl. So ask yourself, how many tribes, have gone through this and survived? They've enslaved us. They've tried to exterminate us like King Leopold. Thank you, Nani. Like, that's my daughter. Yeah, she's a girl. She forced me to cut her hair down because she doesn't want to deal with having to get her hair braided and done. She doesn't want to deal with it right now. So I did it. Yeah. So if hey guys, research the genocide of King Leopold in Angola. Over 5 million or 10 million. Okay, I need to get the facts right, but genocide. They've tried to kill us, they've used diseases. Look, you don't even know some of these diseases that from out of nowhere explodes in Africa. Most are manufactured in like laboratories. Like, guys, you need to research. But what happened to us? We're resilient. We're resilient. They call us infestations. They call us with so many names. They even like uphold dogs and animals. See how black people are suffering in the US, how they're being killed. But try to hurt a dog. Try to hurt a dog. They'll jail you, they'll put you in jail. But black people are being killed every day and nobody wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about it. It's as I'm saying, like the compassion and the love I have for my brothers and sisters everywhere on the face of this earth would always compel me to come and sit here and talk to you. You know, what I'm preaching is an awakening that goes beyond anything else. It's like you need to start training up your children to grow up in a way that when they are old enough and they can hold policy positions, they can influence policy, they have the authority, they have the power, they would make the right decisions that would take Africa to the top. And I'm telling you that I made this video and I said technology, that is STEM, science, technology, mathematics, and engineering, is what we require. STEM STEM should be like one of the keys, the most important keys for us to rise and stay on top. The rising is there. The rising is we can market ourselves to the world and say, hey, we are here. Hey, we can do this, we can do that. But we need to have our own technology. We need to, like, by now, we need to be developing our own AI system. We need to have our own technology, people. Like, we need to develop our own technology. And I'm not even joking about it. Because do you know why I'm saying this? There's so many medical technologies that are being used in the West that are not even permitted to be brought to Africa. You see, we are a continent full of, our continent is full of wealth, gold, diamond, but we are a people that they need to get rid of so they can have the gold, they can claim the wealth for themselves, but they don't need us on the land because you know what? They see the continent as their own. Hey, you need to catch this revelation. If you don't catch this revelation, then you don't understand what I'm even talking about. Because see, the continent is there. You have already declared that continent your own. So you've done Berlin conference and you've sat there and you've carved it up and you've enslaved the people on it. You've tried to exterminate them. You've tried to rid them with disease. You've tried to bring conflict and everything. They are still not dying. But the wealth that is buried under that land, woo! So then what are you going to do? I am going to make them believe that this world is not my home. Lord, I'm just passing through. If heaven is not my home, then where shall I be? The angels welcome me through heaven open doors, and I won't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friends like you. If heaven is not my home, then where shall I be? Look, they're saying that when you die and you go to heaven, then you will get the gold and the diamond in heaven. Whilst they pillage the mineral reserves, everything that the Almighty God gave to us. And when I say God, I don't mean their God, gave to us to make our lives rich and wealthy on this earth. And the sad aspect is, you know, we believe it like it's like Kool-Aid, we drink it. That's what their book says. That you should throw your bread upon the waters. And when you die and you wake up in heaven, you will receive it. It is easy for a poor well, it is easy, it's more difficult for a rich man to go to heaven than for a camel to enter into the hole of a needle. That's what the Bible says. So in turn, people are not seeking the wealth. You know, African people are not seeking the wealth they're sitting on. They're not thinking about gold and diamond. You know, silver and gold have I not, but what I give to you is the word of God. So the word of God is the gold. Huh. So the Newmonts and the Zone Mobiles and these big companies, and they mine our reserves for nothing at all, and then they take it away with them. And we're here singing Kumbaya, Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, oh my Lord, Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. Oh Lord, Kumbaya. And we sing Kumbaya. Have you ever heard of an African country that has asked their government to stop Western exploitations of mineral resources in Africa? Have you ever seen an African country ask them to leave before? But people don't understand why. The Bible is still working wonders in the churches. The wealth is in heaven when they die. It's not on earth. This earth is not our home. We're just passing through it. So everything, build your mansions in heaven. Build your mansions in heaven. That's what they're preaching us down here. You see, we need to wake up because we're still sleeping. We need to wake up. Let me take a few comments. Um, so Nana Kwesi says, in Africa, most people don't even know that the first university in the world was created in Africa, and we had many places where Europeans came to learn. Of course, most people do not know. They don't know. Do you know that the ancient Greeks used to come to Africa to learn, to Egypt, to universities, even as recent as during the time of the Songhai empires? People don't know. They don't know. So those of us who know, we need to be up and talking. And guys, please kindly share my channel and get other people to subscribe, because the conversation, when when we have a bigger follower, a bigger number, and we talk about these things, like, this is what our brothers and sisters should be hearing, and this is a conversation we should be having. But if our channel is just limited to a few people, like, I wish we had like 10,000 Africans in the diaspora spread over the world watching, but now we are 4. So I'm pleading with you, if you're watching, I'm asking you, please subscribe and share this channel to a brother, to a friend, to a sister. Talk about the Woke Africa Show, because that's what the name is, and that is exactly what we're selling, the awakening. And let them hear this, because there's so much power in knowledge, there's so much power in information, and as long as you don't know about it, you're not hearing about it, you are still in the dark. So Okwisi, thank you for raising that point, because it's so true. It's so true. That point is so true. Akwisi goes on to say, and Nani goes on to say, as Akwisi, they look at me in disbelief when I tell them that the first university ever was established in Africa. How are they supposed to believe you when the only information they know about Africa is like television programs with children with houseflies in their noses and in their eyes and in their ears and in their mouths, with like 300 ribs sticking out? Hungry children, dirty children on bare grounds, rolling down with the animals and all of that. That is what they are being told that we are. So of course they, like, if you tell them that the first ever university was built in Africa, that like the jaw will drop, and they would think you're like pushing like some conspiracy theory, and they will think like you're crazy to even think that Africans have the brain to even study or even have formal education, or like, this, that is our reality. That is that is the narrative. So we have to like sit up and realize the times that we are in. We have to sit up and realize the times that we are in. This is the Woke Africa Show. Welcome. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and help us keep the conversation alive and keep the conversation going. And when you subscribe, please, 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 this is very important. Click the notification bell, because it's right down. If you look at where the subscribe is, it's at the right side. If you don't click the notification bell, I would not be able to, you would not be able to get the new videos that I make. And I believe that when you get them, you share for most of our brothers and sisters to hear. So I'll go on and read Chrissy's comments. So Nani, yes, that's when you say their jaws will drop because you don't believe it. Chrissy says, Nani, same with me. Many Black people here in America, when I tell them that in Africa we had the oldest university, the oldest writing in language, they look at me like I'm crazy. Some people don't even think Egypt. Like, they talk about the pharaohs and they talk about um, um, all these kings and queens and the pharaohs, and they still, I think, they separate that kind of history, and they don't consider Black Africans to be the origin of that history, because the kind of Egyptians that they refer to are Arabs. They don't even know that the Nubians people themselves are black and richly melanated. So the current white Egyptians, they're Arabs, and they don't even look. I'm telling you that most of these Caucasian civilization, population, most of them are like really, really, really underinformed about things around the world. They're underinformed. So exactly, that is what is going to happen when you tell them the truth. So, Chrissy, and Nani, I would love for you to share some of this information with me, because I do my research, but sometimes you don't know everything. So when someone shares information with you, you have the opportunity to also, like, share with others. And since I have a platform, that is why I created this platform, and that is why I want to share this. I'm learning so much from you guys, like, and I believe you guys are also learning, like, learning from it. And thank you so much. The comments are so powerful, so powerful. Nani and Kwesi, you came and you made this conversation interesting. You made this conversation powerful. Um, I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. Um, can we know, like, hey, you guys, can you tell us the time in your country? Okay, so Kwesi and Nani, you are in the US, right? Okay, so Kwesi just came with a comment, and I would like to reiterate on that. It says the colonizers have managed to brainwash our people to accept this religion that was forced on us. But we had our own spiritual system thousands of years ago. Thank you. Please, guys, let me read this comment again, because I think this comment is very important. He's saying that the colonizers have managed to brainwash our people to accept this religion. When I said this religion, I'm talking about the Kumbaya religion. Um, the Kumbaya religion. You know it. Okay. So the colonizers have managed to bring them brainwashing. That's what I'm like. That's what I've been talking about. The brainwashing. Like, I did this video. You can take a look at it when we end the conversation. But I did this video about deconscientizing our minds of inferiority complex, and I talked about Christianity and the fact that it was a tool for colonization. Because you know what? If you look at the dungeons, when you go to the Cape Coast Castle and you look at the dungeons where people were kept, and sat in their feces, and dined in their urine and sweat and feces, and lived in it for days and days and days on ending, and died in it, body fluids. People can die in these dungeons and be there with people who are alive. you know the way they were treated, it has to take a vile, wicked person or people to actually put our ancestors through what they put us through. They would rape these women, they would beat the men into submission and keep them in chains, all because of the technology, advanced technology. That's why I'm saying that we have to stem science, technology, engineering, mathematics. We need to, like, seriously, we need to get our children studying these courses seriously. And I'd like to tell you guys that just today I got feedback from Ghana Education Trust Fund for a young guy that I was helping to get scholarship to medical school. And um, it came back that he got the scholarship. Let me see if I have I'd like to share the letter with you guys. It came back that my efforts didn't go unrewarded. He actually got the scholarship, and he's going to medical school. And that is the best news I've ever had in a long time. So let's see. Where can I get this? Where can I get this? Um, where can I get this? Okay, so guys, this is the letter, a copy of the letter. Okay, and we managed to get this young man into medical school. And without this letter, this young man could not afford medical school because, um, you know, 10,000 and over, for a term, a semester. And we got him in there. And this is all because of the whole thing. Like, the awakening must start. People must start realizing. So yes, Chrissy, the brainwashing is there. The brainwashing is the biggest, like, nemesis of our rising. The brainwashing is just so deep and steep and rooted. It's hard to even talk to a brother or a sister about our current situation. It's hard to talk to them about it because they will judge you. They'll tell you, "Oh, the Bible said it. You're the Antichrist." Oh, the Bible said it that people would forsake Christ in the end of days. So they're all waiting for the end of days for this world to be destroyed. Damn! Why are we even trying to destroy the world we live in? Oh, this book. Okay. So secondly, he's saying that this religion is forced upon us, and it is. It's forced upon us. But we had our own spiritual system thousands of years ago, and I'm telling you, we had our own spiritual system. We had our own ancestry. We had our ancestral worship, or, well, not worship, but ancestral. Yeah, I would say worship, because, like, when somebody died, like your grandmother, your grandfather died, we believe that they didn't leave us. They went into the spiritual realm and they went to protect us. So when we eat, hey Andy, welcome aboard, Andy. We're happy to have you. Welcome. This is the Woke Africa show. Yes, we're good, and this is the Woke Africa show. We talk about things that are important to the reawakening of the African continent and African people, and how we can rise to the top through science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, through deconscientizing our minds of, the negative, stereotypical narratives, and to realize ourselves who we are and to move on. So this is the Woke Africa show, and we've got powerful videos. So you can scroll down later on and watch our video. Please subscribe if you're new here, because you're among friends. Subscribe, and let's keep this conversation going. So, Angie, can you tell us a bit about yourself? Because this channel is not about me coming to pour my thoughts on you. It's about a conversation, like we having a conversation about the things that are important to us. So, Andy, if you don't mind, we'd like to hear from you. Ooh, that is the third one. Yes. Hey, Nani. I'm glad to see you're still here. And guys, please keep the comments coming because if I don't see your comment, I don't even know if you've left. People are leaving and coming. So I'd love, 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 love to see you commenting. So I know you're still here. And I also like to hear what you have to say about the conversation. Okay. Oh, thank you, Chrissy. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're gonna do this. We are gonna do this. Thank you so much. And oh, thank you, Andy. Thank you. I'm a good girl. Andy said I'm a good girl. Okay. Thank you, Andy. Whatever that means. What does that mean? I'm a good girl. Okay. I was East Coast. Oh, okay. So East Coast is where, Chrissy? Where is East Coast? Amakosia. I told you, Amakosia Jiwa. So we're namesakes. Yeah. Oh, I'm beautiful. Okay, thank you, Andy. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm a daughter of Africa. I'm a melanated queen, for the compliment. Um, okay, so hey, Kwesi said, I just forwarded your video to Wodemaya on Instagram to help your platform grow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope that he would do it because I've several times tried to contact Wodemaya to say, we kind of like have the same, interest about presenting a different face of Africa to the world and, about bridging the gap between the people on the continent and the rest of our people that are scattered around. And I've tried several times. I've actually not been able to get, that connection with them. So I believe that Kwesi sharing my video with his platform on Instagram, my fingers are crossed. But I believe if we all chip in and share this video on platforms, it will get the attention of people, and I think that we can grow because I think I believe I have a different style, you know, because everything we talk about here is unscripted. Even the recorded videos I send you, they are unscripted. I never script anything. I never write anything. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd also ask Andy, like, you can look, watch, the other videos. And if you have any questions, like I've done so many videos, I'd also like to say that Ghana is offering free land to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora who wants to come back and settle. And I've done a video. So if you know anyone who wants to come back or who has the interest or someone you want to try and convince to come back home, you can share that video with a person and also get that person to subscribe to the channel. I also I'm starting a WhatsApp group for people who wants to come to the continent but don't have any connection at all. So they don't know how to start, how to go about it. I'm starting a WhatsApp group to kind of like, help all of us, help all those people come to a central point where we can talk about the coming back and how to cut down costs and how to enjoy the experience to the fullest without necessarily being a part of a group or a tour group or company, because not many people have the thousands of dollars to join a tour company. And also, I would be telling you some of the websites where you can get very affordable tickets that, coming to Ghana, So I would also, when you get here and you get into run into any kind of problem, I would like to give you tips and advice on how you can maneuver and resolve them. If you want to acquire property, it's cheap to buy land in Ghana. So when you get down here and you want to buy land, in order not for you to get scammed, or there are bad people everywhere. So if you're not careful, if you're not if you're not vigilant, anybody can take advantage of you. So when you come down here, I'm going to kind of like guide you to be able to acquire proper property in the right way, in the right direction, or in the right way with proper documentation. So, hey guys, now you can ask me questions about myself. If you want to know about me, you can ask me questions. I like to do a little Q&A before I leave. It's about 11:28 p.m. and so it's almost 12 p.m. and I'm going to Andy, I don't get you. You're saying that what? We are all the same people. It's not a matter if you're pink, white, blue, don't matter. A lot of bad people there. When you say a lot of bad people there, what are you trying to talk about? A lot of bad people where? And what you're saying is part of the negative stereotyping that the West has propagated against African people. So when you say a lot of bad people in Africa, are you talking about the people living on the continent, that there are a lot of bad people? And if you say a lot of bad people, can you quantify how many bad people have you experienced on the continent to come to that conclusion? I don't know many bad people. I have a lot of good people in my life, and those good people have had so much influence on me, and have given me the kind of wisdom and outlook and experience that I have. So when you say there are a lot of bad people, like, I would like for you to like explain what you mean. Okay, Andy, may I ask, are you a Ghanaian? Have you lived in Ghana or any part of Africa? And guys, I'm gonna ask you to like be very tolerant. I'm trying to find out from Andy because he's saying there are a lot of bad people here. So I want to find out specifically where he's lived and what his experiences has been for him to come to that conclusion. Okay, so you've not lived in Africa, any part of Africa before. So how do you know there are a lot of bad people here? Where did you get that idea that there are a lot of bad people here? So he says no, he's not lived here before. So I just want to understand, Andy, how do you know that there are a lot of bad people here? And don't worry. I just want to have this conversation with you to kind of like understand, where you're coming from. Because